All right, this is I don't know why I have class 3. I think I named this wrong. I named it wrong. It was supposed to be class 4, not class 3. I just saw that right now. So it's class 4 is the last class of the shadow work. You guys already know me. Vanessa and Katrina has been kind of in the other classes. I will let Ashley introduce herself. So you guys get to know who she is.
Okay, so I'm Ashley, and what I try to help people do is understand basically where their shadow aspects are, how to spot their shadow aspects, and how they're interfering with their outer reality. One of the signs that you have a shadow aspect that is coming out is repeating patterns. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. There are a lot of other ways, but I'm sure that you've probably seen them in the other classes in the series. The repeating patterns are huge for me. And I think pretty much everybody probably has some type of repeating pattern at some point in their life.
That is like one of the biggest triggers that gets on my nerves. And then it's like 20 repeated patterns later, you're like,
what did I miss?
A problem. Maybe that is a problem. All right, so our quote of the day, keep your mindset strong, your heart pure, your intentions kind, and your dreams big by Nikki Rowe. Some of the key points through this one, how to identify your repeating patterns, becoming emotionally aware, finding your core issues, becoming present, checking in with self, healing self in the affirmation circle. Of course, we don't want to end without that. All right, so we're going to do a quick grounding meditation. All right, if you guys want to just close your eyes, make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. You can breathe normal for this one. Of course, if you have any lung issues, you don't want to breathe in too deeply and exert those lungs. So just bring it normal. But I just want you to envision that beautiful, beautiful bright light coming down from God, Creator, Universe, Spirit, however you see your higher power. And have that beautiful, beautiful white light come down into your crown, which is your head, the top of your head. And you're going to keep pulling that beautiful, beautiful, positive, supportive light and energy down into your third eye, which is right between your eyes. And you're going to keep bringing that beautiful light down into your throat. And then you're going to, which is throat chakra, and you're going to keep pulling it down, down, down into your heart chakra. And that's the right center of your heart space. And you're going to keep pulling it down, down, down into your solar plexus, which is a little bit above your navel. And you're going to keep pulling it down, down, down into your sacral chakra. And you're going to keep bringing that beautiful, beautiful positive light all the way down each one of those chakras down to the bottom of your spine. And that is your root chakra. And then you're going to allow that beautiful white to flow down through your legs. Now you can see a vine, a chain, a rope, however you want to see it. Think of an anchor at the end, and we're going to push that beautiful light down into each layer of the earth and Mother Gaia, going down, 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 all the way down into the center of the earth, connecting with Mother Gaia, anchoring into her so that we are present and that we are here and knowing that we are safe and supported, and allow her energy to flow up through you, all the way up into Creator's energy, like that infinity symbol going from Creator down within us into Mother Gaia and back. And once you are anchored and you are tethered and you feel safe, go ahead and allow that energy to flow down through you to Mother Gaia, and then back up through you, through each one of your chakras, the root, the sacral, the solar, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And then once you are ready, open your eyes and we are present. Boom. All right, and then I'm going to hand it over to our facilitator today, and she's going to get into these repeated patterns.
All right, so just a heads up, guys, I'm going to be looking at the slides and not you. So if you have any questions, write them down. And then when I finish going through the slides, I'll slide back to you guys and you can ask whatever questions you have.
If you want, there's also the chat button. They can drop it in the chat button if you want.
Okay, yeah, they could do that too, although I don't know if I'm gonna see it right away, but I'll keep checking it.
I'm gonna write something and see if you see it.
If it pops up. Oh yeah, okay, I see that. Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. All right. So I just wanted to give you guys some examples of repeating patterns. This could be you've had multiple friends that have betrayed you. You've had similar relationships. Maybe you've realized that 3 of your previous relationships were with people who had addictions of some sort, or maybe they had betrayed you. Something like you get fired from your jobs only after 3 months, like every time. So those are examples of repeating patterns. And then you can go to the next slide. Okay, so the key is to want to be self-reflective, to actually say, where in my life am I noticing that something keeps reoccurring? That's the first step. Once you do that, then what I would ask you to do is pretty much sit down and ask yourself, like, what is it that's repeating? Once you have that, and if you guys have a pen, you could do this now even. So I'm gonna actually give you guys a minute to do that. Ariana, you can go to the next slide while they do that. And then now I'm watching you guys. So after you write down a repeating pattern that you've noticed, just put your hand up in the video so I know.
Katrina, you had your hand up?
Did you raise your hand?
You on mute, I can't hear you.
Is that a yes, Katrina?
Oh, yes. Okay. Tell me you're done.
All right. Okay. Okay. So once you have that pattern, and I'm going to give you guys an example also so I can use better analogies. For instance, if it is maybe that you've been in 3 relationships and all 3 of them ended up cheating on you. What you have to do is find the actual core feeling behind it. So when you're in these patterns, if this person cheats on you, what in all 3 of the circumstances, what was the feeling that you had behind it? Was it not feeling seen, not feeling heard, not feeling like you were enough for them, not feeling like you were special enough? Those are some examples. The other situation that I talked about was like, if you get fired from your job, every 3 months you have a new job. You have to look back to what leading up to you being fired were you feeling, and when you got fired, what were you feeling? When you got fired, if you had like a little sense of relief, and then you look back and you realize that maybe a few weeks before that you started to feel confined, like, oh my God, am I going to be here forever? And you had some kind of nervous energy, and then sure enough, it shows outwardly and you are fired from the job. So what you would then need to do is look at those feelings. Why did you feel constricted? Why did you feel like you weren't worthy of that relationship? And what you have to do is ask your higher self, So like literally close your eyes and you would say, what is the first time that I ever felt this feeling before? So if we're going with the betrayal of a partner, when was the very first time that I felt betrayed in my life, or that I'm sorry, not betrayed, that I felt not worthy enough, if that was the core issue. So if the core issue of being betrayed was not feeling worthy enough, close your eyes and ask your higher self to show you the very first memory it has of a time where you did not feel good enough. You can go to the next slide. I might have actually done that one too. Yeah, okay. So that's that one. You can go to the next one. Okay. Once you have that core memory, what you're going to want to do is literally go back into it. So become completely present in that moment. You're going to want to feel it in your body. For instance, if we're talking about the betrayal and you're not feeling worthy enough, I would ask my higher self, okay, show me the first time that I didn't feel worthy enough. And maybe it would take me back to a memory when I was like 6 or 7 or 8, where my mom completely dismissed me. Like I just didn't feel like I was worthy enough for her attention. It could be something completely different than, somebody cheating on you. It will be something different because it's going to be from your childhood, most likely. So then I would get into that memory and I would literally remember every detail about it. What was I wearing? What were the colors of the walls? What was my mom wearing when she dismissed me in that moment? And then ask yourself, like, where you feel that in your body. Where is that sensation? What is the sensation? Maybe you feel anxiety or you feel despair. And where in your body do you feel it? Like really become completely present with that emotion. You can go to the next slide. Once you're in that moment and you're completely feeling, you should be feeling exactly how you felt when you were a kid in that moment. You should be so into it that you are emotional, like it's happening to you right now. Then you need to ask yourself, what is it that I need right now? And maybe you come up with something like, I need my mom to pay attention. I need somebody who's actually going to get down on their knees and eye level with me and listen to what I have to say. You can go to the next slide. Okay, so then the next part of this is going to be, you have an option. You can choose between rewriting that memory and having your mom pay attention to you and listen to what you have to say, or what I personally like to do, because to me it's very important to be your own support, to validate yourself, and to not, it's okay to want external support, but you're not supposed to need anything from other people. So what I like to do, instead of redoing the memory with that person, is think of myself nowadays. So if in that memory I said I needed somebody who was going to listen to me and care about what I was saying, I would then think of myself now and I would say, when do I do that for other people? And I may think of, and again, this has to be a specific memory, I may think of myself now listening to one of my friends complaining about something, or maybe she's having troubles in her marriage, and I think about myself supporting her in this one particular conversation, and then I feel into that. Where am I feeling that in my body? What color is it? Where, like, obviously I feel good about myself because I'm helping somebody, and I really develop myself in that feeling of giving to somebody else what I needed as a child. And then I combine the two. So I will take that version of myself and literally bring it to the younger version of myself in that memory. And myself as an older person will get down on the ground and I'll look at my child self in the eyes and I'll say, what do you want to tell me? And I will give them exactly what they needed in that moment. You can go to the next slide. So I would say something to my inner child like, I'm sorry that this person wasn't available for you at this time, but I'm really interested in what you have to say. I think you're worth it. You're worth my time. You're special. You're important. What you have to say is important. Because the thing with doing this and why it works is because your brain cannot tell the difference between a memory and a thought. Your brain doesn't know if something happened or didn't happen. It just knows the feelings around a thought you're having, which is why, like, you can imagine doing something in the future that you haven't done that's exciting to you, and your body will feel excited. You'll get adrenaline about it because that thought is no different than the feelings you have from a memory. So if you're rewiring that memory with a better thought, all those neurons that were leading to this fearful thought are then rewired. Now you have a totally different like pathway for that memory. So you reassure that child version of yourself, whatever they're needing, you give it to them, and you have to make sure that they're satisfied with it. You can't just say something and then leave. You have to say, is there anything else you need from me? Do you understand that you're important? Do you feel that you said everything you wanted to say? Is there anything else you need? And let them answer. Your inner child will answer. You can go to the next slide. Okay. So after you do that, then I usually like to ask my inner child, do they want to stay where they are, or is there a happier place that they have in mind? Sometimes they will say, oh, no, I'm okay here now. And other times they may say, well, I want to go to a beach, or I want to go to the park, or wherever they're comfortable. You bring them there. And again, you reassure them, say, you are important to me. I love you. I will never abandon you. So not only does that memory get rewired to feel important, but you're also the savior for yourself. You're not dependent on anybody else. You are your own savior and your own validator. So when you do this with the child, you tell them, like, I understand you now. I understand that when I'm feeling this way, it's you calling out for help. I promise you that I will come talk to you again if I ever feel like this. Like, I know that you're here now, and I will always be here for you. And then I usually, for myself, for the next week, every night, I do like 5-minute check-in with that inner child, just so that they know that I didn't leave them. It wasn't just a one-time thing, that I really am conscious of them, and I really am determined to make sure that they are happy and comfortable and at peace, and that they have somebody there for them. So every night for about a week, I do check-ins. And then after that, I say, okay, now I'm here when you need me. Anytime you need me, you just let me know. And you can ask yourself, your younger self, like, is there a certain sign that you're going to give me when you need me? Maybe they will, maybe not. But you'll know when you have that feeling of feeling not worthy, that's that inner child reaching out to you, and you'll go back and you'll talk to them whenever you need to do that. Let me think if there's any. That's pretty much it for that. If something comes up in the future, if you have another fleeting moment of feeling unworthy, you'll literally go back to where you left them, and you'll say to them something like, I feel like you're reaching out to me. I'm feeling like this, and I think it's coming from a part of you, this part of myself. What are you feeling about the situation? And they'll answer. They really will. And you work with them whenever you need to. I actually haven't needed, when I've done that shadow work, like the main session, like I just explained, I have not needed to go back more than maybe one time a few months later. You get a lot done in that, as long as you're really present in the moment and you're feeling those emotions, like you're in that moment, but then you rewrite the story. It's completely different for you afterwards. That's it. Does anybody have questions?
I'm going to pick your brain on a couple things for anybody watching later. So For someone, some of this, how you say go to that childhood place, like where it happened. So what if their repeated pattern or emotion that comes up when they're going down, it's multiple throughout their childhood. There's not just one.
Right. So they have to ask their higher self to show them the very first time they remember it, because the subsequent ones are always going to be law of attraction. Those other times are happening because they felt that way in the first place. So you always want to go back to the very first memory of it.
Yeah. Did you guys have any repeated patterns that you wrote down that you'd like to share?
I'll share mine. So mine is relationships. I've been in a lot of bad relationships the last 5 years. And it's because I don't I've been cheated on in pretty much every single one of them. And it just makes me feel like, what am I doing that I'm not good enough for them?
So when you look back, when you ask yourself, what's the very first time that I felt like I wasn't good enough for somebody? Do you have a memory? Do you remember what the time was?
I was probably about 8.
Okay.
And
mind sharing?
it's not like a specific memory that I can pinpoint, but I was sitting alone outside is where I found myself in the park.
Okay.
And I was really picked on as a kid. And the first time that I thought about suicide, I was 8. But my dad was super verbally abusive. Everyone in the neighborhood was super mean to me. And I just never really understood why. What did I do?
Okay. So then close your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to that exact time that you're sitting in the park by yourself and feel into it. Where does the feeling have a name? Is there a type of feeling that it is?
Just alone and sadness.
And where in your body do you feel that?
My heart.
Does it have a color?
It's like a whitish orange.
Okay. And now, if you were to look at that child and say, what does that child need? What would it be?
Love.
Okay. And now, can you think of a time as your adult self that you give love to somebody else? Your son, maybe?
So recently I've been doing TikToks to try to help people through my healing. And I stopped for a while because it was too much for me, but Spirit told me to keep on doing it. So I decided to redo some TikToks, and that's whenever I feel like I'm giving a lot of love.
Okay. And where do you feel that in your body?
The same heart space.
What color?
It's like a purplish pink color.
Okay. And how do you feel about yourself when you're giving that?
Really, really good.
Okay. Now take that energy to the swing set, to the park.
Okay.
And look at the younger version of yourself in the eyes and ask her, do you know who I am?
She said, yeah.
Okay. Ask her what she really needs the most from you.
Just love.
And how does she accept love? What are some things that would make her feel loved?
Just sitting with me.
Okay, so do that. Sit down with her, tell her anything that you think she needs to hear. And explain to her that there's absolutely nothing wrong with her, that everybody is lovable just by different people. Not everybody is going to love one person. You could do something wrong and half the people will think you were right and half the people will think you're wrong. So it's just that the people surrounding you are not an energetic match to you, but that doesn't make anything wrong with you. And I explain that to her in terms that an 8-year-old can understand.
Okay, I did.
How does she feel?
I could feel the sadness, not as deep, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah. Does she need anything else though? If there's still some sadness there, what else does she need?
Just to sit there.
Okay.
That's all she wants, is not to feel alone.
Okay. So then ask her if she would like to make a friend to be with her when you can't be with her.
She said, yeah.
Okay. Now imagine that type of a friend. If it's a little girl, a little boy, whatever it may be, and introduce them.
Taking pictures? What are you doing? Okay.
Okay, I did.
Okay. Now make sure that the younger version of you knows that this other friend, and have the other friend tell that version that they want to be friends, that they really like them, their energy, and they want to be friends with them for a really long time. And where would they like to go to stay together? Do they want to stay at the park? Do they want to go somewhere else?
Okay.
What did they decide?
To stay at the park.
Okay. Now reassure that younger version of yourself that she not only has that friend, but she also has you. Anytime she needs you, she can call on you. And that she's very important to you. And you will always answer when she needs you.
Okay.
Does she believe you? Does she understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now hug, kiss, whatever she wants, whatever's going to make her comfortable, and just say, I will see you tomorrow.
Okay.
And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How do you feel?
Good. I mean, it gave me chills the whole entire time.
Good.
But the first time, like when I was thinking about it, I was crying because I've always felt so alone.
It's good. You're supposed to be in the emotion of it. You're literally getting back into the memory to rewire it. So when you feel emotional, that means it's working perfectly. Now, just for anybody else listening, sometimes you don't feel emotional. Still keep working at it. It's okay. But it's great that you did. And I would say, yeah, same thing like I do for the next week. One time a day, just do a check-in. Say, hope you and your friend are having fun. Just wanted to let you know I'm still here. And then make it more spaced out. You know, maybe do a few days in a row and then do every other day for like a week. And then just take it easy. Then, you know, you don't need to go back unless she calls on you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Katrina, do you have anything?
I wrote that I couldn't think of nothing current. I think for me, I guess my past relationships were different abusive relationships.
Okay.
I would say, yeah, different abusive relationships.
Okay. And how did you feel in all of the relationships? Some people may have actually felt protected because they felt like the abusive person was actually stronger and could protect them, or they're more dominant, so they just felt like they could be taken care of. Or some people in an abusive relationship could feel like they are getting what they deserve. Maybe they don't have, you know, they believe they deserve that. Or maybe you feel like, you can't escape because there's nothing better, or whatever those are just some examples. So think back into it and see if you had a commonality in your feelings in these relationships when they were treating you like this. Did you feel like a little girl? Did you feel like what?
What was the last thing you said?
Like maybe you felt like a little girl.
I think I was looking for somebody to, let's see. Well, I thought I was getting someone that was going to take care of me. I would say that. I thought I was getting someone that was going to take care of me.
Okay. And when they were being abusive, what were you feeling like in that moment that they were being abusive?
I didn't see it as abuse.
Okay.
I don't know why at the time.
What did you see it as?
I don't know. Like normal, I guess.
Was your father
Because
like
I guess I thought it was normal because it wasn't like I was taking it because I wasn't raised to take it. So it was like, even though I knew I was a female, I didn't take it. It was like, we going lick for lick.
Okay. All right. So close your eyes and ask your higher self to show you a memory of the first time you were not feeling taken care of. The first time that you felt like you wanted somebody to take care of you, as young, as far back as you could possibly remember.
Okay.
What's the memory?
I was 5.
You what?
I was
5.
5.
Okay. Do you want to share any more about it?
I was 5 and abused.
Okay. So keep your eyes closed and be in that moment. And I know it's going to be hard, but you have to be in that moment and feel like it's happening right now. And tell me where in your body you feel that.
I guess all over.
Okay. Is there a color to it?
Dark.
Okay. And what does that 5-year-old need in that moment? Is it somebody to step in? Is it
Somebody to step in.
okay? Would that be your first answer? Is that what she needs most?
Yes.
Okay. Now come back to a time in your current age and think of a time when you stepped in to defend somebody else, when you were taking care of somebody, and it has to be a specific memory.
Most recent would be my dad.
Okay. So think of a specific memory where you were, where he was, the colors on the wall, and what you were doing specifically that was taking care of him.
In the hospital, walls white.
And do you feel good about taking care of him?
Yes.
Okay, where in your body do you feel that?
My heart,
What color?
white.
Okay. Do you feel good about yourself?
Yes.
Okay. So now take that version back to the 5-year-old self
Mm-hmm.
and interrupt that abuse that was going on and step in and take care of her how she needs. You can play it all out in your mind. Walk in, say whatever you need to say to whoever is there, and take care of that child however she needs you to. If she needs you to tell her that it's not her fault, do that. Ask her exactly what she's feeling, what she's thinking, and correct it.
See, I don't get that for the child.
You don't have feelings of wanting to take care of her?
Wanting to take care of her. Yes. Well, wanting to take care of her, but stepping in at that moment, not to address her, to address the individual.
Meaning you can't address the individual? Oh, okay. So address. Okay.
Because in addressing the individual, I'm protecting the child.
Right. So is that what you need to do? You want to address the individual?
That's what I feel like.
Okay, so do that. Whatever the child needs. The child may need to see somebody defend her. If that's what you're feeling called to do, then that's what that child needs. She needs to see that she's worthy of somebody sticking up for her.
Okay.
Now, let that other person leave the room. And now can you address her?
Yes.
Okay, so now do that. Ask her if she knows who you are. Make the connection that you are her. And then give her what she needs.
Okay.
Does she feel satisfied with that?
I feel she just needed a hug and to know that, like you said, I'm there or somebody is there.
And does she know that now?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Ask her where she would feel the most safe.
It's always with her grandma.
Then bring her there.
Okay.
And exactly how I was explaining to Vanessa, explain to her that you're going to visit her whenever she wants. She's never alone. And anytime you have those feelings, you're going to know it's her, that her feelings are important. She's important. You're always going to come to her rescue when she needs it. And then make sure that you leave off on a positive note, that she truly understands that and feels loved and taken care of. And then you can come back.
Okay.
Okay. How do you feel now?
Good.
Okay. That might take, I'm sure there's going to be more onion layers to peel from that. But now you know the process. You can do that with everything. Does anybody have any questions?
Oh no, not at
Is that
this time.
probably good that we only had a small group, because I would not have been able to do individuals with everybody. That's perfect.
Right. I was just thinking that, like, oh yeah, that would have been.
That was meant to be that way. But now, you know, everybody who watches the afterplay can also get like firsthand understanding.
Right. And it takes time, because there's even my camera's doing some weird shit always. Even me, there's patterns that I'm still working through myself, you guys. So I have a big one that's fear that comes up for me, and it just goes back to that childhood, you know, and then it always goes back to that anxious feeling, panic, and then feeling unsupported. So, you know, a lot of these are going to be like layers, especially if you have like several different ages that you went through certain things, and, you know, just kind of going back to trying to pinpoint it. Sometimes it's hard to pinpoint it, you know, when you've just had so much going on. So hopefully you guys can kind of sit with this exercise and get some of your biggest ones out of the way, you know, and start to chip away at those big ones, you know, and then just watch how your own energy starts to shift with this. Because each time you do this and get in there, you're gonna find that healing. And then once you start to release, you are gonna shift in your own energy, and you will start to see it just in different ways that when we talk about those triggers, some stuff is not gonna hit you no more. And you'll be like, wait a minute, what's changed? You know, what's changed within me? What shifted? But I didn't spaz out on this person. Like, what happened? And it's because you're doing these little exercises and going back with those childhood selves. So hopefully you guys can keep doing these, and just keep tackling them one by one. Sometimes it's weird to kind of think, you know, to truly process on where it stems from. Sometimes it takes a bit to kind of pinpoint that exactly, like, where does this come from, you know? But I think you guys will get it. You guys are awesome. Ashley is always available if you got, not always like 24/7, but you guys can
My email is open 24/7.
You guys can definitely reach out to her should you have any questions and concerns about anything she talked about. So we'll go ahead. Our ending quote of the night is, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. And that's what we're doing. We're going into the darkness of our own consciousness, of our own shadows, and we are bringing us back from the dark. We're bringing ourselves, our multiple selves from when we were little, you know, to now back. And so we're creating our own light versus allowing that darkness to stay. So you guys are the key. You know, that's the biggest thing. Every time that you guys show up, for me is huge, just to tell you guys, thank you. Thank yourselves for showing up, because it's huge. Everything that you learn, everything that you start to put into practice, it's going to benefit you in the long run. Even if you don't see it today, you'll definitely see it at some point. So if you've been here, you already know how the affirmation circle goes. I'm going to start with Katrina, and then we'll work our way back. So Katrina, I just want to say I'm very proud of you of sharing tonight. You know what, all of you guys, I kind of know you, so it sucks because I have something beautiful to say about everyone, because watching your growth is like huge from when I first met you. So just know you're fucking doing some amazing shit, and I'm proud of you if nobody else said it. Okay. And now Katrina, you have Vanessa.
Oh. Am I on mute or no?
No,
you're
okay.
Oh, Vanessa, I really don't know you, but I'm sure you've grown a lot, and keep doing what you're doing. I just feel your energy, and I feel like you're headed in the right direction.
Thank you.
Awesome. And Vanessa, you have Ashley.
Ashley, you're amazing. Definitely, what you do is so beneficial.
Thank you.
And I definitely feel it. I have the nauseous feeling again, so it's definitely working.
We call that the purge.
Yeah, I hate that the most, but just don't ever stop doing what you're doing, because it truly is helping people. Truly is.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Ariana,
Right.
so you have stuck to this path and you've evolved it. You have not wavered in your determination in this path, and you are constantly helping people. Originally, like just with tarot readings and things like that, and now to be so expansive to where you have your nonprofit. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Definitely is the purpose, the goal and the purpose. Thank you guys. We are going to be taking a little bit break, just for anybody watching this. We'll be taking a little bit break on the series, just because this has been a pretty back-to-back series with series 1 and series 2. And then next month, we're not going to have a series that's every week, but we will be doing posts in the group just to kind of follow up with everyone and see how everybody's doing, kind of get everybody to do work with the workbooks, make sure everyone's watched the classes. And then the next series that we're putting together is going to be something, I'm just going to say something with self-development. I don't know exactly what, because we're still developing it and we're still putting it together, but it'll be incorporated with self-love and self, because we want to focus on the self. You know, a lot of things that I've learned on this path, especially watching a lot of people with forgiveness, it was hit me some ways through this class. And what came to me is that some people have done some horrible ass shit, and it is very rough to sit and just be like, oh yeah, I forgive you. I forgive you for fucking me up like you did, you know? And I think that we sometimes, as healers and facilitators, we forget that part, and we're pushing for us to get to this state. And I think that we need to refocus on self, because only when you get to full love of self, then you could maybe, and I say maybe because there's no guarantees that you'll ever be able to forgive some people for the things that they have done. And it's not fair for any of us to say that that's what you need to do, because it's not. I don't want people to think that. So over this course, these past 2 series, Spirit's been giving me some downloads on it. And again, it's for self. So we want to go back into self versus really looking at other people and some of the things that they've done. And I think that's maybe the best route for us to go right now. We will be teaming up with a QHHT specialist, though, for next month on the 22nd. I still have to get the time together because she's going to do a soul speak workshop, kind of like, well, you guys probably haven't seen her. I don't know if you guys have ever seen anyone do short meditation kind of sessions. So just to explain this, soul speak is like really getting to understand your physical ailments with your traumas. Okay. So you know how I've been kind of incorporate that. I talk about it a lot. You guys hear me kind of talk about it a lot, from our anxieties to even our ailments, diseases, diabetes. When we talk about ancestral curses or ancestral trauma that come through. So she's in that field. So we're going to be talking about that, and she's going to do an actual workshop to do some clearing with us on the 22nd. So you guys want to put that on your calendars for the 22nd. And if she can swing another one, we'll try to get another one. But right now I only have the 22nd with her. But then the next series should be here for November, and that'll be I'm calling it self-development, even though a lot of it will be self-love. A lot of people have asked us, oh, well, how do you love yourself? How do you take care of yourself? And so, right, we want to get some exercises and real things that you can grasp to do, because it's so much more than just, I want to say it's so much more than just making ourselves feel good on outer shit. We really have to get to the points on talking to ourselves, those affirmations in the mirror, saying I love you to yourself in the mirror. I hope each and every one of you every morning are looking in that mirror and saying I love you. You know, that is huge piece of self-love. So we're going to be doing that next. And then I'm just to kind of tell you guys what's going on. I do want to do some more, like maybe mini sessions. So I might be looking at my calendar for October to see if I can swing it, if not November, to do some mini guided meditation sessions with you guys, or at least another workshop with you guys to do some clearing. And then of course, if Ashley is available, we'll definitely try to get a workshop going with Ashley.
Yeah, I would love to do this again with more people.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the one-on-one like we just did is good. So even if it's a small group, like if I went through 3 or 4 people, that'd be awesome.
Right. So we'll definitely do that. So we do have a lot of that coming up. So you guys just have to kind of look out for it, and I'll try to post it as best I can. And I hope that you guys can just take a lot from this and just keep incorporating with your lives. Of course, I see your transformations and blossoming because I deal with a lot of you guys. But I'm sure your family and friends are starting, if they haven't already started, to see some of the changes within you guys. So if not, don't worry about it. They will at some point. My people didn't see my transformation until like 3 years later. It's like, oh, what are you doing? It's only been 3 years.
I think they just still think I done lost my mind, but I really don't care.
At first they are. At first they're like, they think like it's a midlife crisis. And I'm like, yeah, nope. It's just, this is life now, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's okay. It's okay. My people still don't really know what I do. I think they try to understand, but they still don't get it, but it's okay.
Mine tell
My
me
family doesn't.
Ashley, have yours? Do they get it?
Mine, yeah, they think I live in a fantasy world. They think I'm very naive and that I'm like, just don't see reality.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if you're watching the news and you think that's reality, I have another thing for you.
All you can do is just be like, all right, well, this, you know, I'll be over here in my crazy path. Y'all stay over there, you know, and I'll stay over there. So I thank you guys for coming. And for those of you who have brought other people, referring us out, we are, you know, here on Facebook right now. I'm hoping in the next couple of months we'll have the official website up. So I'm very excited about that, but it's putting up a lot of time and effort to try to get that up and running, because it's so hard to work out of the Facebook group. It's ridiculous, but we're doing it. We are doing it. We are utilizing what we have for right now. I am not complaining. Where I get a tower and talking shit. All right. All right, you guys, have a good evening. Of course, you guys know where to reach me should you have any questions or need to reach out. And then for everyone else, this will be posted in a little bit. In a little bit.
Yes.
Guys.
All right, bye.
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 I don't know what I'm doing.